time for FOMO, and we're talking Coinbase. Bitcoin's on the move. I don't know that it got back to those all-time highs. Not quite yet, Jenny, at least in the futures. I know spot can vary from that a little bit, but it's up another 5%. 67,200 was the last print I just saw. The all-time high print for the futures was 69,355. So I don't know that we're going to get there, but it seems reasonable. And if you would have asked me how long it might be, in October before they got to those all-time highs, I don't think I would have said by March. So I don't know that it's going to happen. It may or may not, but it's certainly within the realm of possibilities now, if not a likelihood at these levels. Very, very impressive to see this move, and it's somewhat only accelerating the last few weeks, so I think that's what's made it so much more exciting.
I agree, and I think the fact that we're able to see names like Coinbase, for example, is up 11.3%, 11.2% in real time, so continuing to benefit from the overall exuberance that's related to the crypto market. This name is, of course, in the majority of these ETFs that were launched, so I can understand the way that it has benefited from the additional regulatory approvals that have followed this space and been a major catalyst. Actually, those analysts, all the discussions that we had prior to these ETFs being greenlit by the SEC, a lot of analysts were saying expect this near-term pain for long-term gain. I don't think that this has been near-term pain at all. Maybe like a week of crypto winter, what feels like it. It feels like this space has been considerably strong, at least since the start of 2024. I mean, a name like Coinbase, which has been a bit of a recovery story, is still up 255% year over year. It's up 31.5% since the start of this year. It has fallen a bit off of its 52-week highs that were made today, but I mean, like by 0.5% here. But overall, if you zoom out and then you look, unfortunately, at a longer-term chart, you can see more of the story, I think, that is unfortunately has weighed on Coinbase shareholders. It's correlated to Bitcoin, but it's not a one-for-one, like it's not a perfect correlation. So that's also added risk. It feels like it reaps the benefits of crypto and Bitcoin, Alex, but it doesn't necessarily hold on to those moves.
Well, let's think about how this company makes money, right? It makes money from the buying and selling of those assets on its platform, and maybe amongst other things. I don't know. I don't get into the staking world. I'm really not an expert on crypto, but they're an exchange that facilitates these transactions, much like a brokerage firm would for equity trades, or to make a different kind of analogy, but of course different product, a sports book would for sports betting. They're the facilitator of the product. Now, I think a negative that maybe you could have made is if all these ETFs are available, maybe investors that would have potentially opted to go onto a platform like Coinbase to participate directly in these products may opt to go somewhere else. But I don't know that there's any indication that's been the case. If anything, the ETFs have only allowed for a different type of investor to get exposure. It hasn't necessarily been at the the detriment of a company like Coinbase. And what do we know about crypto? Even elementary assessments of this, Jenny, over the few years is higher volumes tend to come from big moves, and big moves tend to be to the upside when it comes to crypto. So it's sort of like this excitement feeds the excitement, which leads to more excitement. And you can see that in the price action, both in Coinbase, but also in Bitcoin itself, as it seems that the move has only gained momentum as it's gotten more and more extended.
I completely agree. And I also will say this space is more complicated than I can give it credit for. It's not something you can just fully cover in really a matter of a few minutes, but it has been one that has really been led by a lot of these approvals. And it's sort of redundant to me because Coinbase, it's like it has obviously its own Bitcoin exposed platform, but the whole point of this space to me was always deregulation, Alex. That's what I've never really understood about Coinbase. They are also facing some pretty major SEC lawsuits still that alleged they were not properly acting as a broker. We won't get too far into that, but that is something that is still, I think, in at least the midterm, a concern for those shareholders of Coinbase. Also, with this rally, a lot of concern has been, are they able to handle the added volume? Because last weekend they experienced this major outage following some increased traffic on the platform as Bitcoin did hit over 64,000. The outage lasted for several hours. Many users reported a balance of 0, which would make me absolutely have a heart attack, because that is a horrible feeling, as we know from looking at a typically funded account. But they said that due to this increased traffic, some customers had seen errors with their logins and their sends, their receives, and some of the payment methods. However, rest assured, they did issue a statement that their funds were safe, saying now they're working on the back end ways to handle handle the sizable volume going forward. So, hey, increased volume and seeing outages is obviously not a good thing, but the volume, the reasoning for the issues is, I think, seen it as a positive, that you're that busy, your platform couldn't keep up.
Well, one thing too, and I think we've sort of danced around this, is with all the issues in the crypto space in general, with some, let's say, just not above board activities that have taken place in this industry, it's actually condensed the industry. So Coinbase used to have a lot more competitors that were big competitors that really just aren't on the board anymore. And so they've only been the beneficiary as sort of the, one of the few that had kind of made it through, is still operational. And I think that's a big component to, as crypto's returned or, woke from its slumber during the crypto winter, they were sort of here with less competitors, and that's only been beneficiary. So sort of kind of like, hey, during the pandemic, a lot of mom and pop coffee shops shut down, but Starbucks was still there. They were beneficiaries when return to work came back, or when you wanted to go, brave the weather or whatever it may be to go get that coffee drink or whatever it might be, where you maybe before would have went to the corner mom and pop shop. But when it comes to Coinbase, looking at this company, it's been, of course, trending higher on kind of a medium and short-term basis, but it is sort of recovering on the longer-term basis, Jenny. At one point, this stock traded up to 429.54 in the last 3 years. It was really about 3 years ago. It had, of course, huge drawdown over that period when crypto saw a big drawdown. It actually bottomed out in the very early parts of last year. 31.55. So when we're talking about performance over the last 52 weeks, we think Nvidia, we think Microsoft, we think AMD. We really should be talking about Coinbase, as this stock is up over 250% in that 52-week time frame.
That's also a really good point, and it is the largest holding in the various ARK funds, of course, owned by Cathie Wood. So even if you disagree with her as a leader, it is still a sizably important investment for those various ARK funds.